You know, history isn't always neat and tidy. Sometimes you find these stories, these puzzles, where the pieces just don't fit, and they leave us with questions that totally shake up everything we thought we knew about our past.
So what are we dealing with here? Are these just mistakes? Little accidents in the historical record? Are they just fragments of a story where the other pieces are lost forever?
Or is it something else entirely? Could they be pointing to something much, much deeper? Maybe a whole chapter of our own story that we just haven't figured out how to read yet. A truth we just aren't ready for.
All right, let's dive in. Our first stop takes us into the world of written mysteries. We're talking about codes and symbols left behind by people long gone, holding secrets that can no longer tell us themselves.
Okay, take a look at this. This is the Voynich manuscript. It dates all the way back to the early 1400s. And for over 100 years, the smartest people on the planet have tried to crack its code, and every single one of them has failed. Nobody can read it.
And it's not just the words that are a mystery. The pictures, they're just as strange. I mean, it's packed with drawings of plants that don't exist anywhere on Earth, star charts of constellations we've never seen, and these really bizarre scenes of, well, it looks like people bathing in these weird green tubes. What is that about?
So you gotta ask, what is this thing? Is it some kind of encyclopedia from a lost civilization? A message from another world? Or is it just the most elaborate, complicated prank in history? A medieval hoax to trick some rich guy? Honestly, the level of detail is so insane, either one of those theories is just as mind-bending as the other. Okay, so we've gone from a book that no one can read to drawings that were never meant to be seen. Well, not from the ground, anyway.
Welcome to the Nazca Desert in Peru. Spread across this landscape, literally carved into the ground, are more than 300 enormous figures. They were made by the Nazca people almost 2,000 years ago. You've got a spider, a monkey, a hummingbird, all drawn on a scale that's just impossible to appreciate when you're standing next to them. Right? Because that's the thing. From the ground, they just look like a bunch of lines in the dirt. You can only see the full picture from way up high in the air. But the Nazca people, they couldn't fly. So who were they making these for? Who was the audience?
All right, let's switch gears. We've talked about mysterious messages. Now let's talk about massive, monumental structures that just seem, well, impossible for their time. The Great Pyramid of Giza. Just think about it. It's been standing there for 4,500 years. And even today, engineers are still arguing about how exactly they built it. But you know what? The biggest mystery might not be how they built it, but what's still hidden inside.
So get this. Back in 2017, scientists used this incredible technology. They basically used cosmic rays to see through solid stone, and they found something. They confirmed there's a huge, hidden, empty space deep inside the pyramid. We're talking a void the size of a commercial airplane.
So, what is it? A construction shaft they forgot about? Could it be the real tomb of the pharaoh, completely untouched for thousands of years? Or is it something we can't even guess? Right now, nobody has a clue.
Okay. From the Egyptian desert, we're going to jump halfway across the world to literally the most remote inhabited island on the planet, Easter Island, home of those giant silent statues, the Moai. So these things were carved using nothing but simple stone tools. And some of the biggest ones weigh up to 80 tons. To put that in perspective, that's like 12 full-grown elephants. So yeah, how they carved them is amazing. But the real question is, how on earth did they move them?
Well, if you ask the local Rapa Nui people, their legends say the statues walked to where they stand today. And yeah, that sounds like a fairy tale, right? But when you really think about how impossible this task was, you kind of start to wonder if there's more to that story.
And that's the real paradox here. People have tried to recreate the feat today, with logs and ropes and tons of people, and they pretty much fail every time. And here's the kicker. For years, everyone thought they were just heads. But then they started digging, and it turns out they have full bodies buried underground, which means they're even bigger and heavier than anyone ever thought. Next up, we're going to look at some things that, well, they just shouldn't exist. These are objects that are so technologically advanced for their time, it feels like they were dropped in from the future.
Okay, picture this. It's 1901. Divers are exploring an ancient Roman shipwreck, and they pull up this corroded lump of bronze. Looked like junk, but it wasn't. It turned out to be the Antikythera mechanism. And yeah, a lot of people call it the world's very first computer. This thing is from around 100 BCE, and it used this incredibly complex set of gears to predict eclipses and track the planets. I mean, we wouldn't see technology this sophisticated again for more than 1,500 years, until the first big clocks in medieval Europe. It's like this massive leap in knowledge just appeared and then vanished.
And then there's the Shroud of Turin. Millions believe this is the actual burial cloth of Jesus Christ, and it has this faint, haunting image of a man on it. This is where science and faith really clash. See, in 1988, carbon dating said the cloth was only about 700 years old, a medieval fake. But people who believe in it say, hold on, the piece you tested was from a patch, a later repair. They argue there's other evidence that points to it being much, much older.
All right, for our final category, we're not talking about what was left behind. We're talking about what disappeared, vanished without a single trace.
Ah, the Bermuda Triangle. You've heard the stories. In 1945, you have Flight 19, 5 Navy bombers. They radio in that their compasses are going crazy, and then just silence. Gone. The rescue plane they sent to look for them vanished too. And that's not all. Go back to 1918, the USS Cyclops, a huge Navy ship with over 300 people on board. Poof, gone. No SOS, nothing. And in all these cases, it's the same story. No wreckage, no bodies, no answers.
So from books we can't read to buildings we can't explain, these puzzles are a pretty powerful reminder of how little we actually know about our own history. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? If these are the secrets we've stumbled upon, what else is still out there, just waiting to be found?